Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, boys and berries, or good morning, actually, 9 a.m.-ish. A little bit late. Sorry, that's what happens sometimes. The clock, it just keeps moving. So this is Magic Brad with the Magic Brad Show. And I've got a new guest on here. Bo has got some other things. Normally we do this with Bo, the gratitude show, but this is fun. I'm getting back in my lane of the event industry, and I kind of know it because I've been there since as a kid, and it feels good, feels energetic, rather than struggling and looking for other things. But I've got a new friend. Her name is Terza. Tears of Joy. No, Tears of Terza. So I'm going to bring her on now. She's over on the West Coast by the mountains. Let's bring her in. Terza, hi.
Hey, good morning, Brad.
How far art thou?
I am fabulous. How about you?
A little early over there, isn't it?
Well, actually, I'm in Colorado, so we're mountain time.
That's right. So it's not quite Pacific. Yeah, it's just
right.
1 hour.
Just 1 hour away.
Got it. We can handle that.
How
long have you lived out there? Oh, what was that?
I'm still drinking my coffee.
Oh, I forgot mine. Oh my God, what am I going to do?
Oh
no. It's okay. I wake up early and I already got that out of my system. Are you a big coffee drinker?
In the mornings. I love coffee in the mornings, and then occasionally afternoon, but mainly in the mornings. I like to get up and have coffee and watch the birds outside.
That's what I do. This is my favorite time of year. They start chirping and stuff, and the buds are going to start coming out on the trees. I like it.
Yeah.
So how long have you lived out there in Colorado Springs area?
A long time. I was not born here, but I was actually born in California, but I've been here since 1976.
Okay, so you're smart. You got out of California early.
But I actually came here from Florida, so go figure. Never mind.
Well, you just zigzag around, and then now you found a place there.
That's right.
Where in California?
San Diego.
Oh, that's a beautiful place. I got a friend that has a store in Borrego Springs, and he lives in Temecula.
Oh, nice. Very nice.
I spent a couple of years out there. It was a downtime in my life, but I enjoyed it.
What's not to enjoy in San Diego, right?
Well, I was more LA, Covina, Glendora, Studio City, but San Diego's super nice out there. I got some friends out there too. Nice. But now, you like the mountains? Is that the deal?
Yes. So when I moved here from Florida, I thought Florida was fine, really. But then moving out here, there was the snow and the evergreens and the red rocks and the mountains, and I was like, oh, I fell in love.
There you go. I remember as a little kid, I went out there with a friend, his family and stuff, and we were walking down the sidewalk, and I turned around, I see the mountains, and it scared me. I thought there was a big monster coming or something, because the mountains are so big. Hey, we got a visitor. Who's this? Well, this is our friend Cindy Lee right there.
Hi,
There's
Cindy.
my tribe sister.
Woohoo! Yes, we are.
For those that don't know, Cindy Lee is our friend that's in the travel industry. She's a bucket list coach, travel and tours. I'm amazed that she's rocking it out right now with travel, and it's kind of amazing because nobody's traveling, but she's making it happen. Smart lady. She's getting ahead of the wave because all the event stuff is coming back, I think.
I think there's going to be such a pent-up demand for people doing in-person things, traveling, events.
Yes. What a great segue. We're going to talk about events because I met you through this platform that we mutually use, this online mailbox powered direct mail thing, which is interesting because I was a big advocate of postcards. I used to do postcards all the time, and this digital thing came along, and the mailbox power thing shifts things back into the real world, like with physical postcards. Much more longevity. This lasts a lot longer than an email does.
Yes.
But aside from that, I want to talk to you about your business of you're an artist. You paint?
I am an artist. I do painting with all kinds of different things, actually, because I started with textiles. Like textiles, really. I have a lot of fun with them. I was never trained in the arts. I never took art classes in school. But when I was introduced to art, making art, before my 50th birthday, I totally fell in love. So yes, I've got behind me a painting, and I got some other types of paintings behind me.
That's true art. because you don't need to be trained by somebody else's opinion of it. You got your own, and you just kind of create. My wife did some art stuff. She did more nature art, where she'd do, it was watercolor and acrylics and stuff outdoors, and she wanted it to rain, or she wanted the wind to blow leaves and things across her paintings.
Oh, wow.
And she would take pieces of fern and put it on and let it dry, and then it would have the image of the fern on there, or raindrops splattering on the watercolors. So she had a very cool. She actually got one of her paintings in the Minnesota State Fair.
Oh, wow. How cool.
So you do watercolors, and I have your domain name on here for your thing there. It's wackywatercolors.com.
Yes.
Very cool. It doesn't look that wacky.
Oh, these are the behind me is not watercolors, but I have other things. So what's interesting to me, Brad, is as we were talking before we got on the show, I used to teach the classes in person at my studio, of course, right? Right. And then the whole pandemic thing hit, and it took me a few months to figure out how I could teach an art class effectively online.
Well, our friend Cindy Lee, she's rooting for you. Look at, she beat me to it. She put your thing.
Thank you, Cindy. Yeah,
that's
Cindy.
What I like about our little collaborative. We end up sharing each other's stuff and promote each other's stuff instead of our self-serving agenda, which gets old after a while.
Yes, and Cindy has an amazing bucket list. Yeah, you ought to go check her out for setting up travels and tours and that kind of thing. And someday I'll be teaching a class on one of her excursions somewhere.
Well, there you go. Let's talk about that and get creative with some ideas and things, because my background's been in the event industry, and I've kind of been involved with all sorts of different events. And people, as soon as they say, oh, you're in events, they think right away, event planner. Well, that's the person that crosses the T's, dots the I's, and doesn't forget the lowercase j's, because you got to dot those two, and they pull all the strings together. But you don't necessarily have to be an event planner to take advantage of an event where people meet people in person to build your business, like your watercolor business. You had mentioned that you did some like team building type events, and people come to the event to bond. You know, they got those painting things all over the place now too, that you do team building events, but you're kind of ahead of the curve. You were doing that before they were doing that.
I've been doing it online. And yes, I have taught an entire class of engineers. It was really fun.
And you could do this these team building events, because I think event planners are always looking for something new to do rather than, okay, we're going to go to the golf tournament. I love the golf, but we did that last year. They're looking for something new, and I guess art might be more maybe a ladies thing, because women in leadership is becoming a huge big thing.
Yes.
Do like a team building thing around female upper management type people to come to Colorado Springs and mix it up with the snowmobile tour and skiing and
oh my gosh,
watercolors in the snow. That'd be fun.
Oh yes, yes. I did that once. I did an executive team. They wanted to come to Colorado for their annual meeting. It wasn't the board, but it was upper level management. And so, yes, I found a great resort for them, set them up with snowmobiles and hot tubbing. And oh yeah. And by the way, they did the meeting too.
Oh yeah, you do the meeting. You got to do that. But you know, on that note, there's something about the event industry when you get out of your local city and into another place, your surroundings is totally new. So your brain thinks totally different. So if someone's doing brainstorming and masterminding, it's good to get around another area. And I guess what you'll be able to do with your, like, I'm good at coming up with just ideas. Maybe you do a watercoloring thing because upper management in the marketing division wants to come up with a new logo. So everybody's going to paint their version of the new corporate logo, and that would be the theme. They would use watercolors to do that, and then they could all decide on it, and that way the employees feel like part of the company, kind of like what Apple does. You know, they're part of the community. Right.
And then there was the do you remember the shoe company Zappos? I got to tour their facility once, right in their early years, And they, of course, they had the standard, the cubicle farm or whatever, for their customer service and that kind of thing. But what made them so different was each one had the ability to decorate their own space, and they had all kinds of goofy things. They had masks they put on during calls, or goofy hats, or throwing balls, or you could, Brad, whatever you could imagine, they were doing something like that.
Well, it makes a person want to go to work.
Yes, exactly.
And you got to kind of have someone that's in charge of, okay, enough play, let's get back on the phones or something like that. But why not make it a game? Enjoy life instead of cracking a whip like that. Why not?
So you used to do that you would do that at your in-person events too.
We did. Like, here's an example of the strategy that we use. Like, say there's a company out here that does cruises on Lake Minnetonka, which is a big lake. Prince made it famous. Lake Minnetonka out there.
Right.
And so he does these cruises on there. So he does brunch cruises and margarita cruises and pizza cruises. So instead of trying to plan a cruise, why not just use the cruise that's already there and then put the right people on the boat? So as an example, I use the analogy of a real estate agent. Say they wanted to meet people that want to buy a home. Mm-hmm. Why not do a Sunday brunch cruise, and invite those people on the boat? And then by strange coincidence, when you start talking with people, there happens to be a real estate agent on the boat. 17 or 20 of these people are people that want to buy a home. So what a strange coincidence but you can do that with a strategy. You just schedule a date, go on the cruise, everybody pays their own way. Mm-hmm. And then you market it to a specific audience in the 20-mile radius, 10-mile radius of Minneapolis, St. Paul, mm-hmm. to people that are looking to buy a new home, because you can do that kind of stuff through targeted advertising.
That's brilliant, Brad.
So you can plant your seeds in a fertile garden. You don't want to plant ferns on the south side. You plant ferns on the north side, because that's where they grow. You just got to know where to plant.
I didn't know that.
Huh?
I didn't know that.
Well, they grow in shade, ferns. They're more moist, kind of shady plants. Whereas if it's sunflowers, you wouldn't want to put those on the north side.
Right.
You put those on the south side. So it depends on where you plant your seeds to grow that garden. That's what I do. I do a strategy of an event.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you don't want to get a bunch of people out there that don't. Another analogy: you don't invite a bunch of vegans and vegetarians to a barbecue.
Right.
You know?
Right.
It's not a fit.
No.
Unless you're barbecuing broccoli and
yeah.
tofu.
Well, that's doable, but that's another thing. So
exactly.
Yeah. So
tell us more about the types of things that you do with your wacky watercolor trainings and teachings. How do you teach people this? I mean.
What's really cool about this, Brad, is I do close the registration like a week ahead of time, probably 10 days ahead of time, just because the mail service has been slower of late. So I can send them their kits. Okay. And then we have a specific time we get on Zoom, and I'm teaching the class. I've got 2 cameras, one on my hands and one on my face, so people can see what's going on. And then they're doing their thing with the kits that I sent them on the Zoom. And what I have them do is use their phone to take pictures of what they're doing and put it up on the screen so everybody else can see too. Because that's an essential piece of doing the art classes in person, was the students would take a break and they'd get up and walk around and look at each other's stuff, have great conversations about it. Well, you can't do that on Zoom.
This is so cool, because just yesterday I was talking about some people that were having challenges of people. How can I get people to attend my Zoom class?
Yeah.
And I was saying there's 2 different things. One person's just doing a regular traditional Zoom thing. The other person is doing a pre-show mail or pre-event mailing that has the package that's resonant. We've only got so much bandwidth in the day, 24 hours. So if I'm going to pick which Zoom am I going to go to, the one that sent me a little package with some brownies and a paintbrush and a instruction manual, or the person that's just doing a regular old Zoom, I'm going to go to the one that has the tangible physical thing, the vibe to it. It's so much more. That's my priority.
And with their name on it,
Exactly. Well, hey, Sandy, welcome to the Wacky Watercolor Zoom class.
Yes, and when I start to do this as a team, maybe with other teachers or other presenters who are doing their kind of thing, I would send them a stick up with their name on it, one of the bigger ones, and it would be and the name of the conference, and it would go on the wall behind them.
Very cool. I love it when you get creative like that and get innovative with all the different things. Like, again, with the mailbox power, I was talking with Bo about that kind of thing, how you can print merge stuff and then make it so it automatically happens. So when people register for your event, it will trigger that campaign and it automatically happens. That's what's cool about it.
Yes.
It's just the way that you strategically do that.
When they get it in the mail, they're so excited because they're opening up the box and go, "Oh, what did the presenter send me?" And they're showing it on camera. It's like, "Oh, look, here's his book. Here's her, as you said, here's her kit. Here's brownies. Oh goodness, I get to have breakfast."
Well, that's what happened with Bo. He sent me this little business card holder. It's like a little briefcase.
Oh.
And it's got my name on it. It's got the name of my show on it.
Show.
So when I got this, I thought, hey, that's cool. And some people think you got to have your logo and stuff on the back and all that. But I know who sent me this. This is Bo Young, a friend of ours.
That's
and
right.
He's a local guy in AGC, and he's an insurance guy. So I know I don't need insurance now, but that's who I would refer is him. I know him.
Oh, yeah. You were speaking of real estate earlier, Brad, and I know
real estate, I meant insurance.
Pardon?
He's in insurance.
He's in insurance, but I was going to, you talked about not having his name on it, but you remember. So years ago, my husband and I bought the house that we're living in, like 26 years ago, as a matter of fact. However, when we bought the house, went to closing, met the real estate agent once, and then poof, never saw that person again. And then later, when we wanted to buy an investment property, we went with the real estate agent who was in our neighborhood who kept sending us little tchotchkes.
Totally. And that is more necessary these days of this open source, decentralized commodity on the internet, because it's easy to find a real estate agent. You just type it into Google and you got a lot of them. So which one is different?
The one that cares about their customers.
That's the name of the game these days.
And so that's true with the event industry as well.
Oh, totally. As a performer, like a magician or a photographer or videographer, they're all over the place. You need to be the one that stands out. And what's happening right now is there's a wave, like we talked about earlier, is people are looking to get back into the event business. So you need to be top of mind in front of that event planner, because they're going to start planning their company picnic and their holiday party and their trade shows and their sales meetings and the fairs and festivals and city celebrations and galas and fundraisers and carnivals. And it's all going to start happening again. The retreats and travel. It's all going to start happening again. And you got to be top of mind with all that stuff. So
exactly. And that goes for things like events cover a lot of things, as you know, Brad. So before the pandemic happened, I signed up for the Boulder. It's a 10K run in the city of Boulder, Colorado. And it's a hugely well-attended event. I've never been. I wanted to go because I have some relatives from Cheyenne, Wyoming, who've been going for a couple of years. All set to go. And of course, we couldn't do it. And they've been kind of churning along. They've been trying to be creative because you can't recreate this event. They've been doing some things virtually and that kind of thing. Virtually meaning you go run by yourself somewhere and you report back in your results.
Right.
This year, they're still not going to be able to open up the full Boulder run. So they got creative. They're going to do 5 different locations across the Front Range of Colorado. But as you said, bro, when you sign up and register for the race, they're going to send you your T-shirt, your bib, some coffee, some chocolate. I mean, they've already announced what they're sending in their kit.
Well, that's let's see if I got this thing over here. That's what I've done with the. I changed this, so it's Synergy First Thursdays. We used to do this once a month, the first Thursday of the month, and I decided to do it more of a hybrid. We're doing it online now, and then it'll change when we can be live and in person again. But I wanted to pop up the mailbox power thing. Terza, what's your slash.
Mine is, thank you very much for sharing, Brad. I appreciate that. It's mailboxpower.com/the Terza factor.
The Terza factor.
The Terza.
Terza. Terza. The Terza factor.
You got it.
Those that are listening, if you're interested in art and the way that Terza is doing this with the art thing, and if you're interested in this concept of mailbox power for promoting your art and events, go to mailboxpower.com/the Terza factor.
Or go to mailboxpower.com/MagicBrad.
Yes.
We're collaborative. We're a collaborative group. So either way, you're going to be well taken care of.
One hand washes the other.
That's right.
I'm not an advocate of competition. I think it's a myth. And I want to do this. If someone vibes with me, then come to my way. If they vibe with you, go your way. It's a big world out there.
That's right.
Competition is a myth because Coke and Pepsi are still here. No one's won yet.
As a matter of fact, they drove each other's sales by doing that.
That's the way that it works. It's synergy. 1 + 1 = 11. That's what I'm all about here.
That's
and our brains tend to think competition, but with business, there's no end goal. Like there is with sports. With sports, when the time runs out, it's whoever's done when the time runs out who has the most points. But that's not with business. I'm here until I'm dead, and I'm not going to retire because this is retirement. I'm not going to do that. I don't want to do that. I'm not ready to retire yet.
No way.
Well, we've been rattling on for 21 minutes here. If you want, I'll put you in the green room, and you can have some of the virtual refreshments back there.
Sounds great. Thanks. So thank you so much, Brad.
We're on a budget, so we had to get just regular donuts rather than the fancy baguettes and all that kind of stuff. But they're all virtual, and they didn't cost me anything. So that's
no calories, too.
Exactly. So I'm going to put you back in a room. We'll talk later. I'm going to sign this one off. Thank you for sharing your, we'll do it one more time, wackywatercolors.com.
Thank you.
Thank you, Terza.
Bye, Brad.
Well, that was fun, wasn't it? So we appreciate you taking the time. We're going to give a round of applause to Terza, just like that. And if you're interested in the meetings, conventions, special events, art, and all that kind of stuff, meeting people live in person, face-to-face, because it's going to happen. That's the way it works. Tune in. Turn on. Peace. Be well. See ya. Bye.